Alright guys, welcome. Well, it's been a while since I've done a Zinilion Primordial Chronicles video. So this video is actually going to be dedicated, this is actually a bit of a update slash, demonstration of everything that's going on. So as you've already noticed, everything is significantly different from previous battle screens that you guys have seen. So I'm going to take this time to explain everything, because I decided to revamp the entire battle system to be a little bit more interesting than what I originally had it. I guess I should first... I'm not sure how to start with this. I mean, I honestly should have had a script. So first things first is... you notice those little... Let's start with the attack function. So you notice those little arrows on the top. That is your way to switch weapons in the game. So every character can wield at least two weapons, two types of weapons. So for example, Ares, who's currently being selected, can wield axes and gloves. However, Zinilion is the one exception to where he can wield everything right from the beginning of the game. So he could be seen as really OP. But also, throughout the game, the player will be able to unlock new weapon slots for each character. More details on that when the game starts coming out more frequently and stuff like that. So yeah, so you can switch weapons anytime by just pressing the side buttons on your keyboard or your controller. So next up is you've noticed that little break there. That is the enemy's shield. So after inflicting enough damage or hitting the enemy's weakness, you'll break their shield and leave them in a stun state. I'll demonstrate one later, but if an enemy is, I think the prompt showed up. If all enemies in the battle are stunned, then you'll be asked if you want to do an all-out attack. That's right, I actually got all-out attacks to work in this game, and not the old method. So no longer do you have to fill up the party motivation gauge and stuff like that. All you gotta do is just make your enemies stunned by breaking their shields, and then you can go all out. If you choose to not do an all-out attack, that's perfectly fine. The enemies will stay stunned for a few turns, and you can deal out a little extra damage, as you can see with the red numbers. Below the enemy's health bar, there is the enemy's weakness. So right now, I have the bats weak to everything. So some other functions that you noticed So first up, let me talk about boosting. So boosting is basically a mechanic to where you can boost your characters' stats temporarily for just that turn. You can boost them up to 3 times in one turn. Basically, you'll boost their chances, all their stats, like how much damage they'll do, how long status effects will last, yada yada yada. It's a pretty interesting thing to do, and it's a really good way to deal some damage and give your characters a chance. So those little dots under the character's name and in between and right above their health bar, that's how many boosts they have. Oh, and this is an all-out attack right here. So yeah. I think I'm gonna loop this battle again just so I can keep explaining things. So yeah, boosting is a really good way to give yourself characters another way of doing that. There also is the true potential state. I will get that will be revealed at a later time. Now, one thing I didn't show off here is actually how death works in the game. Like, how does one get a game over? So if Zinilion, the main character, dies in battle, he stays dead, meaning that it's game over. So, similar to the likes of Persona or Shin Megami Tensei. So yes, if Zinilion dies, the whole game is over. However, I did implement a second chance mechanic called Trigger Mode. Trigger Mode, I think you have seen it a few times, where Zinilion suddenly gets a red aura. That is Trigger Mode. Basically, Zinilion will be able to revive himself and heal all of his injuries. And when he does so, all of his attributes are enhanced times 2, and he'll be able to dish out some more damage to give himself a little more time. However, this can only be activated once per battle, so if you're in the middle of a really intense boss fight and end up using your trigger mode halfway through, you might want to get ready to survive the rest of the battle. So yeah. But as you've noticed, each of them had different categories of attacks, such as magical, tactical, physical, and stuff like that. That is dependent on what class you're in. So in the game, there are 4 classes. The first class is the knight, I believe I call it the fighter class. Basically, they are knowledgeable in every aspect of battle. They can learn up to the 2nd tier of magic attacks, and like the 1st tier of tactical stuff, and a little bit of the physical stuff. The second is the Vanguard. They are really good for dealing real damage with physical abilities and have really good physical defense. That was Ares' class. Zinilion was in the fighter's class, by the way. The third class is the Sorcerer class, which Phantom is in, where he can where you deal damage with magical attacks. And then the final class is the Tactician class, which Legend was in, where basically they are in charge of healing and buffing the party and stuff like that, and debuffing the enemy. However, there is another command that they have that I don't think I used, or I used it very quickly. The Concoct command. Basically, you can make your own items in battle with the right ingredients. So when you do that, you won't know what item you made until you make it. So you can make a healing item for yourself, or you can make a attack item for your enemies, or you could end up making another ingredient, as I accidentally did during my test run. So yeah, I think that's really everything new that I added. So I guess I could go into how things are going right now in terms of the whole overarching project. Everything is going really smoothly. In fact, I have made a lot of progression, and I'm really happy about that. I did take a bit of a step backwards and revamp the battle system, as you saw, because it is significantly different. Because when I was playing, I was doing a test run of the game a couple days ago, last week, and I didn't really like how the battle system played out. So I thought to myself, I'm going to see if I can find some plugins to make this a little bit better. So all of the plugins and stuff I used are going to be in the description below. Go check out those guys if you plan on getting into RPG Maker. They make some great stuff. Some of it is paid for, mainly the stuff. This battle system is very similar to the Octopath Traveler battle system. So if you've played Octopath, you know that. But I believe the person who made it is Olivia Fallen Angel, and she made some really they made some really amazing content here. It cost me like $30, but I'm happy with that investment, using this stuff. But progression is going smoothly. I'm not going to give a definitive release window because I am terrible at deadlines. I've canceled this thing like 48 fucking times because I gave myself a deadline. So I'm just going to keep saying TBD. So yeah. I was actually about to make a character trailer for one of the other characters. Oh, right, I should probably explain how classes are chosen. So, for Zinilion, you can choose your class right at the beginning of the game. However, you can change the class at any point throughout the story. So if you want Zinilion to suddenly be in the support class, then you can change him to be in the support class. Or if you want him to stay in his current path. However, the other 3 characters, Phantom, Ares, and Legend, their class is predetermined, and you cannot change it. You can't change it, and you can't choose what class they are. However, there will be new characters that will be added later in the story, and when they get added, you will choose what class they are, but you can't change their class throughout the game. So really, I wanted to give more customization to Zinilion, because while also giving choice to the new recruits, if that makes sense. So I want to give this experience a little bit more different stuff than that. You know, I want to make this experience as varied as possible for you guys. Okay, I accidentally touched my mouth with my watch. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, all of this is a passion project, so I'm not expecting, you know, a lot from this. But I am having fun making this, and I have legitimate, you know, every time I make progression in something, you know, whether it's finishing a move or something like that, I have like a sense of genuine happiness seeing all this fold out. So, with that said, currently, in terms of writing, the main story is complete. I have completely finished the main story, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know that it is about 400 pages long for the main story alone. And I've started writing the the support quests for the characters, and I'm starting to write the side quests a little bit later. So yeah, so all of this is going great. I am having a real blast with this. So I'm gonna leave you guys with the battle demo playing. It's playing on loop, so it's gonna play 3 times, you know, just so you get an idea of what's going on. I'm pretty sure future me will comment on anything I missed in the comment section or in the description, because, you know, I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This actually went a lot longer than I thought it would, and take care.